So I already recorded this video once, but it was kind of all over the place, and I feel like I may have came off a bit too harsh, and I wasn't trying to be as harsh as I was. I guess to an extent, I wanted it to be very authentic, but I think that it came off more negative than more so like optimistic or even like constructive in a way that is healthy for a discussion. Old OP would have posted that, just didn't even care, but you know, I'm trying to be a better man here. This video is literally just gonna be me pretty much ripping the band-aid off, like telling you guys exactly how I feel with GS and how I think the current state of the game is, plus like just my overall thoughts with everything. I'm pretty sure you've all noticed, literally everybody's noticed, that the interest in GS is damn near non-existent right now. Everybody that I talk to that plays GS, none of them were excited about the new updates. None of them really cared about even logging on. I know recently people were logging on because it was half off crest. I mean, everybody shows up for half off crest, you know, especially if you a 4+ grinder. Or, you know, 5+ now. But apart from half off, people don't log in, people don't care. Especially during now. This is like the lowest point in GS history I think I've ever seen, apart from 6 months of Tensura. Most recent updates have been god-awful. There's no other way to put it. I look at the last 3 updates that we've had. I'm going to show you guys just the maintenance notices just to kind of give you guys a reference. Let's look at the most recent one. We have Charlotte. Now, Charlotte added Ashley's event, which is Sparks of Passion, which is an event that we should have got a very long time ago, but it's finally here. Now, I'm not against this, but I also am saying that this right here, I don't think it matters anymore. Sure, it's cool that we're going to get these side stories that we never got before, but if this is the big draw of the update, I don't want these side stories to come to the game. I don't know if you guys agree with me, maybe I'm crazy for saying this opinion, but if these side stories that are years old, that have equipment that are completely dated, is the main draw of the update, I don't want it. If this is added into an update that has like a very big update, let's say like we get a brand new Grand Crusade chapter, right? But it's like, oh guys, not only do we have the Grand Crusade chapter coming out, we also have this event that never got released on global. We're going to be releasing it alongside it. That right there, perfectly fine with, because you still have the main attraction and the big thing that's actually meaningful, the new Grand Crusade chapter, alongside an event that really isn't all that, but you know, at least it's finally here. You can get your crystals, some LB stones, and that type of stuff. Top 5 worst maintenances I've ever seen in GS within the last 3 years. The Charlotte maintenance brought the Rabbit Squad. This is like a brand new saga because you have her, you have Natasha from this, and then a few others. And then we had the raid event. This was set up to be a big update here. This was actually going to be a very solid one, but what happened? The raids were messed up, and they wind up not coming out till the next maintenance. Also, the SP art for Charlotte was delayed, which is a bit weird. I don't know what the deal is with that, but the SP art did not release alongside Charlotte. It came out with the following maintenance. Maybe it was to try to give that maintenance a bit more content because they knew that maintenance had pretty much nothing. And the update before that, of course, was Madoka. That is the one that brought the brand new crossover, a bunch of new characters, and everything from this was, okay, this is a solid 6 out of 10 update for GS. I'm going to be honest. I would say most updates that come out for GS are usually 6 out of 10s. Sometimes, you know, we get a banger and it might be an 8 out of 10. It's been a long time since we've seen a 10 out of 10 update. Well, I guess Auto Cell came out, right? Auto Cell was pretty good. That's a 10 out of 10. When it comes to content and stuff, a lot of the times it's 6 out of 10 updates for most stuff. This right here kind of just shows you the current state of GS. We had a crossover that came out that was relatively good. Overall interest just wasn't there. We had an event that came out, which was a brand new saga. This saga is a year old now in JP, and it finally came out in global. Unfortunately, Charlotte's power crept to all hell and no one's going to use her, so that's cool. And in the following maintenance, we literally just had a rerun banner alongside a event that's never came out before, that is like 6 years old at this point. Plus, this is when the raids finally started because of the crazy bugs or whatever else. I don't know what's been happening with the dev team recently, but there is such a, I don't, like, how do I say this without being like completely rude? Let me say this. Let me start with the good first before I be overly negative. You guys are capable of making some great stuff. Like, actually, I've seen you guys make some really good updates and some really good changes to the game. It seemed like at one point, I don't want to say that it was completely heading in the right direction. It was progress. There was progress being made to make the game better and to make the game more accessible and everything else. Now it just seems like a lot of these are empty promises. Like, we've talked about the new player experience being completely bad for what, 2 years now? And they said, oh yeah, we acknowledge that. We've acknowledged that. Like, they show that in the live stages. And I know this stuff takes time, but ladies and gentlemen, where is any news on this? Where is like anything to help out the new player onboarding? The only thing new players got are new player missions, and that's it. Are we serious? That's all we have right now. But not only just like the empty promises, but it's also been the fact that the maintenances, whenever Orville D came out, if I'm not mistaken, he had maintenance issues. We had the raids being delayed, pity being the way it is on JP. I still can't believe this got implemented the way it did. Whenever I talk about this, some people think I'm just upset about the whole thing. I am upset about the pity increase, not necessarily the pity carryover. The pity carryover is perfect. That's fine. That's amazing. So to give you just a very quick rundown, if you're a free-to-play player, and let's say Ultimate Paladin Roy comes out in a banner, you want to summon for Ultimate Paladin Roy, and you have enough to pity with the current pity cost in global, which is 1,500. Well, in order for you to get to the new pity cost, if it's on that one banner and you only summoned on Ultimate Paladin Roy and nothing else, you need 3,000 crystals because the pity is doubled now. Is there a way to fix this? Sure, just revert it. It's not a big deal. It's truly not. Heavens forbid you guys do something that actually benefits your players. And here's another thing. Even though we get roadmaps and stuff here and there, I feel like this dev team is walking in complete darkness. This is the first time that I have felt this way about GS, where a part of me thinks the dev team doesn't know what's going to happen within the next year and a half, 2 years. It feels like the GS dev team does not have something planned within the next few years. Now, I know that we have the whole like road to 10-year anniversary or whatever on JP, and they laid out some stuff that they're doing this year. That's cool. I can't help but feel that way when it comes to global. Like I said, I'm speaking specifically from a global point of view here and not a Japanese player's point of view. Only a global player's point of view. Also, I want to mention this, which is probably my hottest take I have ever had on GS. Some of you may agree with me, some of you may disagree, but Ascension is the #1 thing holding GS back right now. I know that sounds crazy as somebody who was very on board with Ascensions. After Ascensions being out, I can tell you it is hands down one of the worst things GS has ever added. Now, the essence of Ascension is not wrong. What Ascension is, it's literally awakening with another name. You get an awoken unit that's completely new, never been in the game before, and you awaken them, but in this case, ascend them to, an ascended 5-star. The way this was executed, though, was piss poor. Of course, this wasn't like an FFBE situation, thankfully, with like 6 pluses or 5 pluses. I don't remember how it went in that game, but if you guys played FFBE, you know what I'm talking about, where you need like a duplicate of the unit to get it. Thankfully, it wasn't like that. The thing is that this mechanic being tied behind Summoner's Road is absolutely terrible. I don't have an issue with Summoner's Road. I think Summoner's Road is great for the game, especially if you're tying like 6-star equips and stuff behind it. Fantastic. But I am a firm believer now that Summoner Orbs shouldn't come from Summoner's Road. This gatekeeps new players so much. And it makes it to where, as a new player getting to the game, you hit a wall so quick and you feel terrible about it. You try to ascend your unit, you can't even ascend them because you beat the first stage, maybe, and then you don't even have enough units to tackle the second stage or even the third stage. Not to mention, there's no like entry level Summoner's Road. I think this would be a great fix. Just like, hey, this is a beginner Summoner's Road. Your units don't get locked out. You can use whoever. And we give you enough orbs to ascend 4 characters in each element. Some people may think that's too much. I don't think so. The game is about to be 10 years old, at least in JP. It's definitely not too much. That would be the perfect fix to kind of bridge the gap right there. But also, I think just putting Summoner's Orbs in beginner missions or something else to just help new players. New players start the game, and I think you guys get like an max elixir at least now, so there's that. But literally, new players start the game and are instantly, completely spat in the face by the GS devs. Like, we don't care about you guys. We care about the intermediate, we care about the veterans, we care about the whales. New players, get out of here. If you're not willing to fork over a large amount of cash instantly or, stick with the game for months on end, you're not going to be able to get your characters extremely strong. And guess what? By the time you get this character extremely strong, you're probably going to get power crept by another character. I definitely resonate with a lot of you new players, man. I was somebody who just was like, hey, just keep tackling it. You're going to eventually get it. But after playing the Japanese version and going through it myself, worst experience I ever had. I wouldn't play GS. Like, if I start GS now and I had to do that, I wouldn't do it. Another thing that I kind of have a complaint about is Tensura being back for a week. This is a bit out of nowhere. I don't really understand why Tensura is coming back, apart from just to fill in the gap till we get another maintenance, but it's another filler week, another, low quality maintenance that really isn't adding much. These guys are coming back and they're probably not getting buffed. They're not getting changed in any way. There has to be like some kind of contract that GS has with Tensura where they have to make a Tensura collab once a year. It just seems like that's a thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not the case and it's the easiest one to bring back whenever they just need to fill in the void with something. I'm not necessarily completely opposed to this, but it's the fact that this is going to be the only thing with this maintenance and there's going to be nothing else. Thankfully, it's only for a week. This is all you have to see to understand how Global's going, especially if you played the game before. If you played the game for a substantial amount of time, you know how Global's going right now. Now for the last part, which I think is the reason why Global is in such a rough state right now. And if this is the case, I'm going to be the first to say, I do not want this to happen again. If this is how Global is for like a month to 2 months, possibly 3. Are we going through all of this huge content drought, these low tier maintenance, these like issues that they're running into because they're trying to finish the Global First Simon? If we're running into all of these issues just because they're working on Simon and they're trying to make Simon and everything, they're having to constantly work on him while getting updates out for JP, while getting updates out for Global, and that's causing like a huge misstep. If it's because of this Simon or because of this Global First character, I know it sucks to say, but I do not want this to happen again. This is the reason. I don't know if it is or not, but I could see it being the reason. Now they're obligated to make this unit because of course he won the popularity poll, and then they took it a step further, which they already knew about this whenever they said it. They knew the workload was probably going to be insane. Hey, he's going to be a Global First character, so having to implement him into the game, code a brand new character, make his whole new story, all this type of stuff. It's not just put the character in the game and that's it. He has to have his own event, he has to have a story, he has to have background, animations, true weapons, all this type of stuff. I don't think they expected that. I think that they thought they could maybe handle it, and maybe they're seeing that there's a bit more issues popping up that they weren't, previously aware of whenever looking into this. So yeah, the only thing I can say is that GS Global is terrible right now. Probably the worst it's been in a very long time. There needs to be changes with a lot of stuff. I think now it's even becoming more apparent since the lack of interest, frustration, and everything else that's coming out. It's making the issue shine more, right? I have confidence that they can actually turn this around and maybe do something with it. I know people are not too excited with like the new crossovers and stuff coming out, but eventually we'll get like a crossover that the Western audience will like a lot more. I'm excited for Toho. I don't know about y'all, but hey, I am freaking hyped for Toho. But anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out. I know I was just yapping, talking about some stuff, but I appreciate all you guys taking the time out your day to listen. I don't know if you guys resonate with this. I'm not trying to make this be like an echo chamber of hate or anything. I really try to be very constructive with this and not just blatantly hate the GS Dev team or anything, because I think that they are under a lot of pressure right now, having to juggle all these crossovers, the Simon and everything. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I truly doubt they're doing like any of these things, out of like malice or something else, right? I doubt it, because GS is their baby. This is like their game. They want to keep this thing alive. They want to do well by it. But hey, I've already talked enough. That's all I gotta say. Thank you all so much for hanging out again. And last but not least, don't forget to drink water.